Okay, YouTubers, this will be an update on my motorcycle trailer that I'm converting from a ATV trailer. And today I painted it, and you're looking at it and going, it's not completed. Well, that's 1 damn gallon of tractor paint right there, and it sure as heck didn't go as far as I thought it would. But I started off by crawling, or actually I just took everything off of it that I needed to, and that way I'm to the bare minimum before painting it. Last time you didn't see this, I took an ammo can and put right there, which is going to hold my battery box. And this is left over from the ATV trailer. It's some sort of a tackle box something, but it's durable. And the lid's going to open up like this. I'm going to run all the electronics inside that, and then I'm going to seal up where I'm running them in through the holes. I'll seal them up with a grommet and some RTV sealant. The stand is what the winch. If you remember in the last video, I had a boat winch that you did by hand. Well, this one I got a Harbor Freight had a 2,500 pound winch on sale for $45 with a remote, and I went and got it. And I think that is going to make this whole setup right here was going to be a one-person loading motorcycle trailer. And I don't remember if I had both of these mounted or not. The last time I had one of these mounted on an ATV trailer, it leaked, and there was 4 inches of water in there with all my equipment and stuff, and so I ended up having to dump all that equipment and redoing it. This one wasn't here before, and what I'm doing different is I'm spacing the nut and bolts that hold this in right here, so I'm not distorting the sidewall. And I think that might have played a part in it. And I'm going to go through, and everywhere that I can find, I put RTV down that line there, right there, and then I'm going to open it up and check for holes and other stuff like that. I got all the wheels and tires here. I'm going to go to my my tire store, which is right down over there by the school. Liberty Eagles Nest Tire Company is going to get me some 6 or 8 ply tires for these, and we'll get them all put on. But I'm going to do something different that nobody else does. I'm going to balance these, and the way I'm going to balance them is by putting about 4 to 5 ounces of balance beads in each one of these tires. And I've found that using my trailers, like this old crappy trailer, it looks like crap, but it's one of the best trailers I've ever used. Putting the balance beads in there will stop the tires from sitting there and bouncing. It just goes down the road smooth, and I get really excellent wear out of the tires that way. So I got new dust caps I'm going to put on these. And with the new tires, I'm going to finish painting. I ran out of paint, and this is a Massey Ferguson orange. It's sold by Atwood's in town. Atwood's is kind of similar to a Tractor Supply, if any of y'all got one. And that's where I got this original trailer. This original trailer went to right here, 6 foot, and I used it to haul my ATV. And we chopped the front off and extended it out, and all the front is new and redone. We took the tongue and reused it and just extended it out. And that's the original jack that was on it too. I just added a couple more wheels to make it more stable, and it really moves it easy. It don't stick in the yard. Around here when it rains, the yard would just kind of swamp out, and that system makes it stand up and I can move it around a lot easier. I did my mud flaps on front and back, and because that will really throw a lot of junk up, especially on the motorcycle, which I don't want. And I'm thinking about something about putting some sort of a wind shield system right here, because I'm going to have my winch here, and I'm going to have a covering over it, because the blazing sun will actually heat up the magnets inside a winch, and they'll come unglued. Winches are made of, the motors are permanent magnet motor, permanent magnets inside the motor. It's inside of a metal tube. And if they become hot enough, they unglue, and then the motor's trash. You can't ever fix it. So in order to keep that in great shape, I'm going to put a cover over it. But I was thinking of some sort of a windscreen that would help protect the motorcycle. I glued down some strips here and ended up painting it. I kind of got to looking at it. You know, that just sticks out too much. And I put two right there. The ramp, you can see I got that walking stuff on there. I measured out, that's over 4 foot. Yeah, over 4 foot. And trimmed it down to where it fit inside there, and then I used monster glue and put some weights on it and glued it down, so that should be permanent. And I did the same for these. These are just tread steps picked up from Harbor Freight. I put a couple of 2x4s across there and put some weights on top of them, and use that monster glue on top of that, or underneath that. So I'm thinking they're going to be okay. I'm just calculating on the amount, you know, that the back wheel is going to be in conjunction with that setup. The wheel lock system is one that dealers use, and I shimmed it up with washers on the inside and outside and a bigger cotter pin, and so that should be really sturdy in there. These stands have an end piece that sticks out that stabilizes it. I took that off and I bolted it up to the front, so it's really stable. Out back, I built this to go over my boat lights. Let me kind of give you an idea. This is all my wiring that I took off. All the wiring that I took off the trailer. Anyhow, let me get the bolts off. Nuts off. Nuts off. Anyhow, and I'll kind of put this up here and show you guys. It slides in through here. Oh boy, I'm getting paint all over me. Yeah, it's still wet. Come on, get in there. Okay. Now, crap, get this paint off my hands. Anyhow, I built that shield system to cover them lights, because every time I turn around, some butthole just backs into that and just busts them up. So right now, these things, I stood on them, and they're strong as hell. So now I'm not going to have to worry about all these dumbass drivers that can't drive, bashing my lights out and crap like that. And I put this was up here. I moved it back. I triangulated it right there. And yeah, these are not really square, but I didn't have a good fabrication table to build all that. I just did the best I could. And I had the leftover stuff that I used on the front up there, the expanded metal. And the tubes that hold the wires, I was able to get them clean. And one of these cross members right up here has tubes that the wires run in. So I found some areas, I found some ways to protect my wiring, and that's going to help out a bunch. I have that ramp right there, and I have a bent piece at the top. And I got to thinking, with this other trailer, you see how I hold the ramps underneath on it? I got to thinking, you know, that would be a good idea to do on this. But I have that one, and it's a great one. I had to notch the top so my gold wing wouldn't scrape on it, and you can see the notching that I did on this piece too, and I got it all ground down. But I've got to pick up a couple more quartz and just really pretty it up now. What I'm going to do on these is use that bed liner to paint. I'll kind of mask off that, and I've done one coat on it, but I want it, you know, pretty durable. And like I said, that was a really good idea that I come up with right there. You know, I could back up to a dock or something, and I'm not going to bust some lights. I used one of them wool hands that collects, you know, it's used to go around round pipes, you know, and paint. That's what I used. And then at the end, I started using a paintbrush. But this thing, when I took the tire off, the top, it's not a castle nut, it's a, well, it's got a square face that fits in there. It was actually stripped, so I got to get 2 more of these, and I'm going to weld them on the back side, because these are bad when they have that square piece of turning. And that's why on these you want to put some lube, anti-seize, on your threads right here, which I haven't done yet. But I rebuilt these a year or 2 ago, and so they should be good. I just get some other caps and grease them up and good to go. But a couple more quarts of paint and it'll really look good. It's come along pretty good. The cedar boards, I went ahead and painted the top. Trying to get the grass off it. Got on my wet paint. The cedar boards should last forever. I shouldn't have no problem. And if y'all don't remember, I put them down there so when you come up, you lean the bike over, put the kickstand down, put your kickstand down, and I put these down here so the kickstand wouldn't go through the expanded metal. So they kind of rest on that. And when you hook this up, I've already used the trailer once. When you hook up your straps, you start from this side because you're leaning against this. You tighten your straps up to where they're taut, and then you do the next side. So I got 2 toolboxes, and that's more than enough room to do. That one's mostly straps, and believe it or not, I'm going to put a jack that's going to help out. If jack and a few tools in there, and that way, if I get a flat, I got a jack this up. I'll put the spare tire that's right there on it. But it's really coming along. It's looking good. I'm going to put a couple of the amber lights up here, and they'll have to tie into the system because you can see the tube where the wiring comes through right here. This is the piece under here that has little tubes that are welded underneath that, so that holds that wiring in there. So I really want to get this wiring to where it's not going to screw up anymore. I get tired of doing wiring, and so that was one of the reasons why I did that, because a lot of that stuff right there messes up a lot, and I solder everything. So that is where we're at so far. I got a lot of really good ideas right here, and at time we used it, I had a buddy sit on the bike right here. I had the ramp right there, and I run that. It was a boat winch. I run it out. I put my thing behind the forks and pulled that bike right up on there and locked it in, and we strapped it down. I took it over to the shop and had it fixed. My Gold Wing, I got a bad tank of gas and it clogged up my idle circuits. And that trailer, I mean, this trailer looks like it's high, but it's not. It's because I got it jacked up so I could take the wheels off and get them worked on. That trailer, I tried to get that bike on that trailer, and that trailer's too high. And them little Harbor Freight, you see them ramps underneath there? Well, they can twist, and that's the problem I had. I tried to get my bike up on that trailer, and the ramp twisted and threw me off. And I backed the bike off the trailer, and it was fun. That's really fun dealing with a 945-pound motorcycle. And I'm not doing that crap again. That's why I built this. So this will be the only one I've ever seen and heard of with a one-person loading system. So when this is all said and done, I'll do another video, and it'll probably be the best motorcycle trailer out there. But I built it to the hilt like I normally do. But anyhow, you guys have a good one, and y'all's getting tons of good information from this. And I had a day that wasn't too cool out, so anyhow, you guys have a good one. We'll catch y'all on the next video. Bye.